Hey guys, welcome back to 22 Lima Romeo, where we focus on the competitive side of the rimfire world. We are back out here at NCRGC to shoot the July 2023 NRL22 Course of Fire, brought to us by Todd McBee. This Course of Fire looks like it is going to be pretty challenging this month. We are fresh back from Douglas, Wyoming, where I was just up spending 3 days shooting the Burris Optics Team Challenge. It is an extremely difficult 3-day field match where we hiked 16 miles, shot from 12 different stages, fired over 400 handgun rounds at some extremely challenging targets. But you guys aren't here to hear about that. You're here to see how I'm going to shoot this Course of Fire. Let's get out there, set up some targets, and get this thing rolling.
First up for this July Course of Fire, we have 2 cool for British rule. We have a 1 and 2 inch on a double hanger at 65, a 2 and a 3 inch on a double hanger at 100. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, we'll engage the targets with 1 shot each from large to small in the following manner and order. Highest reachable ladder rung, near targets. 55-gallon barrel, far targets. Seat of the chair, near targets. Back of the chair, far targets. Lowest ladder rung, near targets.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Alright guys, getting things going this month. For my gear, I'll be using the Grab CNC Mini Plate Pro, the Armageddon Gear Mini Plate Pro pad, and as always the wee badge strapless behemoth with a strap on it. Shooting off the top of the ladder is something that I think we should practice more often. I always put a bit of pressure on the top of the optic, helping it lock into that top rung and make me nice and stable to break those 2 shots. Now when we transition over here to the barrel, you'll notice that I build a typical kneeling position. I use the wee badge strapless behemoth to fill the void between my elbow and my knee, just like always, and help stabilize the front of the rifle to make these 2 shots on that far target. Now we're going to transition over here to the seat of the chair. Now this is always an awkward position, whether you're shooting from the front or the back. I typically like to take a kneeling seated position and use the top of my knee as rear support for the rifle. That really does help make me stable, I found over this last season, so I'm going to continue to do that. Now when we build a position off the back of the chair, that's where things always get a little wonky. That is just a really awkward height for most shooters, I think. So building that solid kneeling position is going to be your best friend when shooting off of a prop like that. Obviously, we're going to transition back to the bottom rung of the ladder, and that can usually be shot from a prone position. As far as my takeaway from this, I think that dialing is probably going to be the right option for this stage, and commit that barricade and that target sequence to memory before you shoot this one. All right, let's get on to this tripod, see what this feels like shooting off of one of these for the first time at a monthly match. Next up, we have grilling like a villain. We have a 1.5 on a single hanger at 75, a 2 and 2.5 on single hangers at 95 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, we'll take a position on top of the tripod and engage each target with 2 shots in the following order: far left, far right, near target, then far left again, and far right one more time. Note, rifles may not be locked into the arc clamp or cradle of any kind. A bag can be used on top of the tripod. The tripod should be set at 42 inches. However, this may be adjusted for young guns.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, engage.
I don't know what this tripod has to do with grilling, but hey, let's roll with it. For my gear on this stage, I'm going to be using the Armageddon Gear Medium, the Grey Ops CNC Mini Plate Pro, and our personal Vortex Radiant tripod. Now, something to keep in mind when you're shooting this particular stage is that shooting from a standing position is difficult. I approach this kind of the same way that I approach tank traps. I bend at the waist, I lock my knees out, giving myself as much bone structure as I possibly can. I reach up with that support hand. I put a little bit of my weight onto my bag, make contact with the stock of the rifle, and I try to sort of settle into that position, because the truth be told, those 2 targets at 95 yards, especially the second one, those are relatively small targets for this position. Keeping your body comfortable is the key to keeping that reticle still. If you find that you're getting tense, try to relax, because relaxing really will help stabilize that reticle on your target. That's part of the reason why we go into these locked out positions, is so that you can actually relax your muscles and just utilize your skeletal structure to hold you in position and keep you on target. As far as the takeaway from this, I feel like this is a pretty simplistic stage. Not a lot going on here, but the addition of a standing and shooting off of a tripod position is something new that I don't think many shooters have done before. So I would not be surprised to find out that this was a challenge for many shooters. All right, that was a lot of fun, but let's get on to the next stage. Next up, the Boston Flea Party. We have a 1.5 and 2.5 at 75 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, take a position on the prop and engage the targets with 2 shots each, large, then small, from the following positions: seated, standing, then kneeling. Note, this is the bonus point stage where you earn 0.1 bonus point per second remaining on the clock.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
All right, guys, next up, we've got our second new prop for this season, the Pyramid. For my gear on this stage, I'll be running the Graham CNC Mini Plate Pro, the Armageddon Gear Medium, and as always, the Weebad Strapless Behemoth. For my strategy on this one, this is a pretty simple stage, so I'm going to try to move as quickly as I can through this because these aren't super difficult targets. However, the grass being in the way of the targets proved to make things a little difficult for me. We'll get that cleaned up before it's actually match day. This is more of a practice session anyway. So with the way the stage is laid out, you really get to decide which sections of the pyramid you're going to shoot from because it doesn't specify in the course description. So if you can shoot from the bottom 2x4 here, like I did, then by all means do that. But being as it's really open to interpretation, use that to your full advantage to try to clean these targets quickly and stack yourself some bonus points for the end of the match. This is a really easy prop to shoot off of. I feel like this is going to quickly become one of the favorite props of NRL22 for a couple of reasons. A, it adds a lot of versatility to the kind of positions that we can build, but B, it's a simple prop to build positions on. Don't be surprised if we start to see this thing a lot in the coming months. That was a fun stage. It wasn't too terribly difficult. Let's go ahead and get on to the 4th stage for this month's Course of Fire.
Time.
39 seconds.
Okay.
Next up, Sun's Out, Guns Out. We have a 1, 3/4, half, and quarter inch on a KYL rack at 35, a 1.5 at 60, and a 2.5 at 90. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, we'll assume a prone supported position and engage the targets with 1 shot each in the following order: middle, far, then 1 inch, middle, far, then 3/4 inch, middle, far, then half inch, middle, far, then quarter inch. Note, no dialing is allowed. Only magnification and parallax can be adjusted.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
All right, keeping things rolling, we have the 4th stage for this month's Course of Fire, which is Sun's Out, Guns Out.
Shooter's not ready.
What would an NRL22 match be without a KYL rack? For my gear on this stage, I'll be using the Harris SBRM bipod with the Really Right Stuff ARCA adapter and the Armageddon Gear Medium and Heavy Fill. For my strategy on this one, because there's no dialing allowed, what I did was I dialed the 60-yard target as my 0, and then I held over for the far target and held under 5/10, which what I thought was a good hold under for the KYL rack. Later on, I end up finding out that I actually need to hold under about 3/10 instead of 5/10, which ends up working out really well in that quarter inch. For this one, you're going to want to pay very close attention to how you're going to shoot these rotations, because if you think of this as a rotation, middle, far, then near, each one of those is kind of, in my mind, a rotation. Your mind is naturally going to want to put the crosshair as your starting point on that KYL rack, and I think that's intentional. Don't fall for the trap. Remember to shoot that middle target first, then the far target, then the KYL. There is no bonus for time on this one, so really do your due diligence, dial your parallax, take your time, make sure your shots are good before you break them, and you should walk away with it clean on this stage. That was a good one. Let's get on to the 5th and final stage for this month's Course of Fire. Finally, we're going to party like it's 1776. We have a 1 inch at 55 and a 3 inch at 95. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, we'll engage the targets with 2 shots each in the following order and manner: vertical tire, near; tire stack, far; top of the sawhorse, near; tire stack again, far; Vertical tire one last time for near.
All right. Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Wrapping things up this month, we have our 5th and final stage. For my gear on this stage, I'm going to be using the Grey Ops CNC Mini Plate Pro and the Armageddon Gear Medium and Heavy Fill. And that's it. For my strategy on this one, I wanted to keep in mind that the target sequence is just like it was on stage 1. As far as position 1, we shoot near, position 2, we shoot far, position 3, we shoot near, position 4, we shoot far, and position 5, we shoot near again. Now, from the course designer, that's kind of gracious because it follows a similar pattern to something that we have already shot throughout the day. The difficult aspect of this is that 1 inch at 55 yards is still a relatively difficult position to shoot off of the vertical tire and the top of the sawhorse. Most of our rifles are capable of shooting that size of a group at that range. However, when you add the element of trying to build a stable position off of something that could be considered wobbly, that's where things can be a little bit challenging. So for your vertical tire and sawhorse positions, really try to slow down and take your time and wait for that wobble to slow down and stay on target before you start your trigger squeeze. That way you have a higher probability of actually hitting that target. Now a 3-inch off of the tires, that is a pretty generous target, and I think most people are going to score most of their points on that one. Keep in mind that these 5 positions are going to go pretty quick. Take your time in getting your impacts, but move quickly because time management I think is going to be a factor for a lot of folks on this one. I had a lot of fun with this course of fire. I think it was one of the more challenging ones that we've seen recently. I hope you guys enjoyed it too.
32 seconds.
All right, guys. Well, that is a wrap for the July 2023 NRL22 course of fire. Thank you, Todd McBee. That was a really challenging one. I think that's going to push some of the most experienced shooters in the league. If you guys are planning to shoot the national championship, myself, Mrs. 22 Lima Romeo, and the little 22 Lima Romeos will be out there with us. We'll all be shooting the championship with you guys. We look forward to seeing you out there. A special thank you to the folks who donated a cup of coffee to the channel over this last month. We really do appreciate those donations. They go a long way to helping us stay caffeinated and getting our butts out here to film these course of fire videos. We hope to see you soon out on the range.